Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy TheJuggySingh. I'm back again with another video. So, guys, today's video we are going to be talking about Ralf Rangnick's appointment, which is all but confirmed now that he's going to be managing Manchester United till the end of the season. So, I know all my Manchester United fans who've had the pain of this past 10 games, seeing the team suffer and play so poorly. So, hopefully, it's a silver lining. At least the one positive in the last match we got is that we've qualified to the group stages of the Champions League. So today's video we'll be just talking about the fact that how Ralf Rangnick is going to be mostly playing and what sort of system suits Manchester United with the players that he's got at his disposal, and how his team is basically going to be playing, looking at the history of teams that he's managed. So as a point of reference, we'll take this upcoming Chelsea and Manchester United game, which is going to be tomorrow. So we'll see how the lineup would be. Obviously, it's not a prediction for tomorrow's game or the game on Sunday, simply because he's not going to be the one managing us. He would most probably be there on Thursday's game or maybe next weekend's game. So let's dive into it. So first, we'll talk about the formation that he's most likely going to play. Couple of formations that he has gone for in the past. The most popular one is the 4-2-2-2 formation, which is this one, wherein he always likes to play with four defensive, or rather two center backs and a left back and a right back, basically four in defense. He has two central defensive midfielders that do most of the running for the team, and then there are a couple of attacking midfielders. So he doesn't go with the traditional Manchester United style of having wingers in wide positions. So yeah, that's something that's definitely going to be different under him, and he definitely plays with two strikers most of the time. So that's one of his most preferred formations. The other one that he does like to also play with is 4-4-2, the traditional 4-4-2, the flat one. Again, the right and the left midfielder that you would get to see in this formation is also not your typical wingers. These are players who will play wide, but they definitely would be cutting in a lot. So don't expect the wing play. Definitely the left back and the right back will have to be pretty fit, and they would be definitely bombing down, overlapping. But yeah, this is so guessing with the kind of players we've got, I think that he would mostly go with the 4-2-2 formation. 4-2-2-2 basically. So let's dive into this one now. Now this is going to be the formation. Now we will talk about, I'll go to the players later because I want to talk about tactics and formations first. So what are his tactics basically? Definitely a person who likes to have the gegenpress. Like if you have played eFootball or PES, you know that one of the options in defense that you get there is the gegenpress, and that's something that I'm not going to sit here and say I know a lot about Ralf Rangnick, but definitely over the past couple of days have done some research on him. And in Germany they say that the gegenpress is something that was introduced by him, and in FIFA, if you want to look at the defensive style of tactics, is definitely constant pressure. So he's going to make sure that all his 11 players are just constantly pressurizing the opposition right from the strikers. So he's not going to give them space to breathe also. So this is the one we'll be definitely selecting if you want to start off a career mode maybe and want to get your team to play like Ralf Rangnick's team. So that's the defensive style. Now when you talk about width, definitely you don't have the wingers traditionally, so you're going to go with somewhere around 35 to 40. I think that's going to be the ratio for the width, because your attacking midfielders for this 4-2-2-2 formation are definitely going to be mostly between the lines in the midfield area. So I would keep the width as 40. Obviously you would need your left back and right back to bomb forward. They are not going to be wing backs per se, but definitely whenever they get the chance they would be bombing forward and overlapping. If you talk about depth, constant pressure requires your team to be on its front foot all the time. So you definitely would want to be in the high 60s or 70s when it comes to depth. I'll keep it at a 65. I would say this would definitely be something that would be a little balanced, given the fact that he's just going to be starting off. He doesn't know the players he has that well. So for now, we'll keep it at a 65. The builder play is definitely fast. Now, he would want the team to pressurize right at the start. And then the moment we get the ball, he would want us to basically just start the attack right then and there. Forward passes all the time. And if you looked at his RB Leipzig team when he had Timo Werner, he would definitely want pace. So fast builder for sure. Chance creation, definitely forward runs, because you can't call it counter attack, but it's like you get the ball, you just put the forward pass forward and make the forward runs, and that's it. Just make sure the team doesn't recover in transition and you hit them as fast as you can. So forward runs is what he definitely would want to go for. Uh, Width, again, I would want to keep it around the 50s and 60s, 55 for now, because that's balanced. Again, as I said, yes, you would want to exploit positions that are left, open by the opposition, given the fact that mostly teams would play narrow against us, and they would not know at this point how Ralf Rangnick's style is. I'm sure that the width would be something that we would want to exploit, especially from the left back and the right back perspective. So I'm going to keep it at a 55. Players in the box, so he's definitely going to make sure that his players are going to bombard the opposition box whenever we have the ball, and especially, let's say, if the forward players get the ball or nick the ball high up the pitch, we would want to make sure we have as many bodies bombing forward. Corners, we'll just keep them as average, and free kicks also, I mean, we'll keep them as by default, but this is mostly how the tactics are going to be in the 4-2-2-2 formation. Now, before we go to the roles or instructions rather, let's go to the squad and look at it, right? So I am a little worried here with Cristiano Ronaldo. Definitely, you look at the Champions League, he doesn't play for us the entire season. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of combinations and permutations in place in terms of what if Cavani played and maybe we might have been a better team at that point, and maybe Greenwood played and Rashford and Sancho would have had a different strategy at that point. But this is definitely the most high profile player that Rangnick has ever worked with. So at least at the starting phase of his managing Manchester United, I don't think that he's going to drop him. So I'll assume that that's how it's going to be. So I'll keep Ronaldo here. In terms of who I want to see playing here, definitely I want to see play Cavani, because one thing is for sure, he might have lost a little bit of his pace, but he runs for you. And I think definitely, but as much as I want him to play, I'm sure that Ranick's past doesn't dictate the fact that he would have two 35-year-olds playing at front. I'm sure that either he would want to play Rashford, who can go and drift wide, or Martial, who's not really had a great time. So I would assume that it'll be Rashford, and to some extent Greenwood as well. But yeah, I think for now I'm going to put Rashford there. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Now, you have two attacking midfielders. Definitely Bruno plays on the left hand side of it. As much as I want to play Van de Beek there, I think Jadon Sancho would fit the bill there. So Bruno Fernandes here, Jadon Sancho here. So you have Bruno Fernandes' guile, like his vision, and on top of it you have Jadon Sancho's pace, which is what most of Ranick's teams have always had. So I'm definitely going for that. In midfield, we really don't have too many options. Pogba's injured, so definitely not including him. Not even sure if Pogba at this point wants to stay with Manu. I'm sure he's made up his mind and he's gonna leave, so I don't even want to consider him. I think someone is going to have a like a new career basically at Man United, and I think that's Van der Beek. I have hopes that he's definitely going to be the one that gets more starts, and deservedly so. I think he hasn't done anything wrong whenever he's come on. Maybe he could have been a little better in terms of his distribution and his just involvement in games. I think most lot of times I've seen him under Ole where he seems a little lost. So you can't blame him. He hardly gets time to play. So he, I think that McTominay is okay, but Fred complements Van de Beek in terms of left foot and right foot, and I think Fred to some extent, he has a lot of misplaced passes. I'm not gonna blame it on him. Unfortunately, that's the players that we have, and I'm gonna keep him. Matic is not gonna be able to play what Renick wants. He's too old to press, so I would play Fred there. Luke Shaw, you know, he needs to wake up. In the past 7-8 games, he and Harry Maguire have been pathetic after that last year's amazing run that these two have had, and getting praise everywhere that Luke Shaw is the one of the best left backs in the Premier League. I don't think so that he's lived up to it after the Euros. So Roy Keane was not wrong. I think you don't judge a player in 6 months of great form. You judge him on a period of a year or two, and definitely time for him to wake up. I am sure that Alex Telles is waiting. Again, I am not convinced with Alex Telles. I had high hopes with him as well, but he hasn't really delivered. So let's keep it at that. Maguire, boy oh boy. I think some other manager would have definitely dropped him or given him some sort of a break. He doesn't need to be playing with the levels that he's had. So I would, but look at the options. Lindelof, I mean, whenever I see Lindelof fighting for an aerial with some other striker that's even half of his size, I still don't think that I have any kind of hopes that he's going to win the ball. I really don't think that he's that great. I think he should move on. Doesn't deserve to be wearing the Manchester United shirt for me. So I'm going to keep Harry Maguire. Rafael Varane, my word, this guy when he plays, at least our defense looks that they are going to do something in terms of recovering and stopping players. If he doesn't play, I don't know what's really up with our defense. They just give up. They're just so bad at recovering, and especially with the Ranick's formations, you would need pacey defenders, and I really think that Maguire is going to struggle. I mean, I hope for the best. You can't just become pacey and with in 2 months you have that pace, and unfortunately he's not getting any younger, and yeah, there's nothing he can do about it. So for now, with the options we have, I would say that Eric Bailly could be just one. Again, Eric Bailly unfortunately has been a victim of no coaching done by Manchester United. Signed when he was 22 23 something. Really thought that he's going to be one of those, Man City was after, and he's going to become like one of those physical and strong central defenders who really is pacey as well. But I don't know where his career has gone. Wan Bissaka, what to tell about him? Amazing defensively, can outrun anyone, can tackle, have the lastest tackles that are amazing. But my word, can he do something about his delivery, man? Like, I just wish that he does improve his forward game, hoping that with Ranick, with the coaching staff that he's going to get in, that there's going to be some sort of improvement over a period of a year or so, that we see the potential that we saw when he signed from Crystal Palace. There's no way David De Gea is going to be dropped. He's been our best player. He has been amazing. A couple of games where you can say there have been dicey saves, but you can't really blame him, man. The defense has really not bailed him at all. So he stays there. So that is going to be, I think, mostly the squad, at least with the first proper game that Ranick has in charge. Now we'll move on to instructions. With instructions, here's how after doing research, I've seen his teams play. So he would want his. Let's start off with the goalkeeper, right? Definitely a person who's good with his feet and would want to come for crosses or for sweeping the balls that have been played by the opposition. So I'm gonna select as come for crosses. He definitely doesn't need to have a goalkeeper that's cautious saving outside the box. We need him to be a sweeper keeper. Then let's start with the left back. Basically everything needs to be default, but definitely the runs have to be overlapping. The central attacking midfielders are going to have pace, or rather cut inside a lot, especially for Luke Shaw. He would need to bomb. Wan Bissaka, I'm gonna keep that as same overlapping. Again, I at this point in his career, I really am not too convinced with his attacking play. So I think again, you all can comment down below. I think he's definitely suggested by a lot of experts as well. That can be a superb centre back, a third one if Manchester United ever revert to a back three. I don't know why nobody in the club has ever considered it, because when it comes to pace, nobody can beat him, and he's an amazing one-on-one defender. So for now, I'll keep, because Diego Dallo hasn't really progressed. Then Van de Beek, uh, definitely he wants his central defensive midfielders to cut passing lanes. He wants them to be. I would keep him as balanced attack, because I really don't want him to be just sitting around, because he's amazing when it comes to finding the right passes. Uh, this would be normal. He would cover the wings and he'll be stuck to his position with Fred. Again, cut passing lanes. You want him to stay back. Aggressive interceptions. He would want to cover the center, and yeah, that takes care of the central defensive midfielders. Now we come to the attacking midfielders, right? So Bruno Fernandes, as much as he hates it, he would have to come back on defense. Ranieri's opposite, formation would want him and the style of play to cover for the defenders and the central defensive midfielders as well. You need to be a box-to-box player. Support on crosses, he would definitely be amazing on the edge of the box. And in terms of position freedom, you want him to roam freely. He definitely is a player that needs to roam, so he's going to be that. He's basically the Forsberg of RB Leipzig. When it comes to Sancho, again, back on the defense whenever possible. Get into the box. I think support would be balanced on this. For him, I'm going to make sure he drifts wide, because he's much better when he's near the touchline. And yeah, that's it. That's for him. And then the strikers. This is the most interesting bit now. So Cristiano Ronaldo, he is going to be one that has balance. He definitely would want to exploit the spaces in between the defense. So that's going to be him. His attack would be, he will be a target man for sure. Sorry. And then in terms of his support, he is definitely one to stay forward. We don't want him to be tracking that much. And Rashford, he is one who will drift wide again. Not that your typical striker. He's the Timo Werner for Manchester United. He is definitely going to exploit the spaces on the left hand side. Attacking runs are also going to be in behind. And yeah, that's basically how the team is going to line up. So if you start a career mode, or you want to go ahead and play as Ralf Rangnick, I think this would be a good starting point for you to start maybe a career mode or play matches with his formation, given that it's almost a done deal now that he is going to be there till the end of the season. So yeah, guys, if you feel any different with the formation or with the players, please comment down below. If there's anything else about this appointment that you want me to make a video on, I definitely would be happy to do that. And I really hope that if you've liked this video, you please click the like button and share it with your friends, so that YouTube basically knows that we're doing great over here. And yeah, just subscribe to the channel, be ready for new videos. Definitely gonna make sure that you guys get to see FIFA and other gaming videos basically throughout the week. And see you guys later. Thank you so much for your time, guys.